a frenzy. The blends be all the right cred, meaning credential. Best of both worlds when we rockin' over pearls in the instrumental. Are you ready? Set. Jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady. To the letter rock. Turn it up. We giving the show. But can you rock it like rocket? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets? Fool. That's a close encounter of what kind? When it was time to get it lit, we got it hot like fever. Sick with the talk, passing your receiver. All about running the spot. And you know we got breath control, so no need to take a breather. Cardio kingpin, subjugate the dub play. And you know we can't wait to bring spins. A-star quizzes, A+ the final. Vocals we align, we'll move it all simultaneously over joints we rock. We earn 30 years, so you can say we got 3 turns. Live off the board, unlike you and your chess men. We installed doubt in you and your yes men. And if the game had veins, we'll insert upheaval the ground. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. Relieving the kings of all crowns. Are you ready? Are you set?
Camara Drive-In. It's the coach. This is the 2021 season on EA Sports. Coming up, 2017 Offensive Rookie of the Year, Alvin Kamara. Fresh off a big performance a week ago, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are just across the Allegheny River from downtown Pittsburgh at rain-soaked Heinz Field in the Steel City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Kamara. And right away, he lost the football. But it looked like a Raven was able to get in there, and they will indeed keep the possession.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Matthias Farley. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
94. 53.
On second down now, it's Taylor, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to bring up a third down.
Let's get it.
On third down, Tom. He finds Taylor, complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. We take a glance now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball for Pittsburgh. They're going to need to be strong against the run in this one.
Now if they could just get their pass defense in line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves them with 3rd and just a couple. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. To return is Taylor. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. Throwing on first down. Todd. And he connects with Vance McDonald. The catch and run pays off to the tune of 35 yards. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. The numbers there for Connery in last week's game. 14 carries, 65 yards.
Well, watching the film, we saw that things clicked pretty well for them in the running game last week. No reason to change in my mind. Continue to try and run the football, give it to them early and often in hopes of breaking down the defense so some bigger gains result as the game goes on.
So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on 2nd down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call. From the gun. Time. And it's caught. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Vance McDonald, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
A good tight end is a heck of a weapon for any quarterback, especially when you're able to create some mismatches. Sometimes they work against a linebacker, sometimes they work against a smaller defensive back. But when they find it, they go to it, and it often results in touchdowns.
This will be fielded at the 6. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. He was, without a doubt, one of the catalysts in that victory.
And he can really be the glue that makes this offense go, because when defenders have to commit to stopping him, that just opens up more opportunities in the passing game.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, and it'll bring up 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson, and that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Ready? 60 or.
53. Let's put them on the buses. Let's put that team on the bus.
The drive will start with Connor, and he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st and 10 is Connor. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Now this pass to Vance McDonald complete, and he'll be stopped right at midfield. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. They'll run on 1st down. It's Connor. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Off play action. Time. And that is incomplete. James Conner, the running back, his intended receiver. And it's 3rd down. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Back to throw. Time. And the throw there going to be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. That would have been from way downtown. Pretty big roll of the dice, and he comes up a bit short.
Yeah, you knew when you saw the holder setting up on the other side of the 50 that this was going to be a long shot. But to me, there's really no loss here because you've shown confidence in him. Kicking it from a long distance, that'll pay dividends. And the miss, you can shake that one off. He wasn't likely to make it in the first place.
And no pitch there and no chance either as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. Now Jackson from the gun on 3rd down, and that will be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
On 1st down, it's Taylor. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. To throw on 2nd down, Todd. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. And the Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Operating from the gun. Time. This is Johnson. He's got it. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
We played to win. Let's go.
You ready?
53.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Let's go, D. Check 4.
They'll run on first down. Connor. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more.
Ready? 8, read.
Hey, D-line, let's get in there. Let's get in there now.
Defense.
Looking to throw on second down. Todd. They'll find Taylor. That's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll make it third down. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down. Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Badgley able to punch this one through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness, maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature, to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. A 10th carry for Kamara. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. There to make the tackle, Steven Nelson. From the 44. Jackson, and this is incomplete. Traquan Smith, the intended receiver, and now it's third down. The Ravens on third down. Not good, 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Jackson now. He gets it to Brown, complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 43. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. This is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. That goes for a gain of 31. So how about this for field position after the big play? And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Alvin Kamara, his 6th touchdown of the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
2nd and 12 after the first down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
60-yard.
On 3rd down, it's Connor. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. Fielded at the 20. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to keep it here. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. And he's got this down to the 35. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. The rookie from Michigan there defensively, that's Devin Bush making the play.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Throwing to start the drive. Time. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. 2nd and 9 now. Complete. It's Johnson. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half.
Down. 18 Gator. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
A final shot before break. Todd. And he finds McDonald. So we are at halftime here on Halloween. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, make sure you avoid the crazies out there and welcome in everybody to this Halloween edition of our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll begin our tour up at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, and those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And it's the visiting LA Chargers who are out in front. Philip Dorsett, a touchdown reception. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And at this point, they trail the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan has a touchdown pass. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a defensive struggle. Which offense can break through in the second half? To find out, let's hand it over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field. Goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. On second down, it's Taylor. He takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll try and run for it with Connor. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
He'll field this at the 5. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. On the ground, Kamara. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Jackson from the gun on 3rd down. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line.
It's a nice job hitting him on the angle route there. Come out of the backfield, cutting sharply across the middle. And that's good timing between the quarterback and his receiver.
Effective 3rd down play to move the chains. Here's a run on 1st down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. On 3rd down, Jackson. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to kick it away. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Here we go.
Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. Off the bootleg. Time. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hey, 4-1 Mike, 4-1 Mike.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. 20, 10, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Alvin Kamara with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Ravens have taken the lead. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Now a pass that's taken in by Smith-Schuster. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. On first down, it's Connor. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. They stay on the ground. Here's Connor again. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. To throw on third down. Time. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 45-yard line.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ready? 8, read.
Here we go. Take left. Hey. You got 3.
To throw on 2nd down. Todd. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
On 1st and 10, Todd on the crossing route, complete. That's McDonald. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
This quarterback now rebounding nicely after the interception. He's hit 4 straight to start the drive. It's first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Chris Jones able to record his 5th sack of the season. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he doesn't have a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. The Steelers on third down. Not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Now a give, right side. Taylor. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, just a 34-yard attempt. Badgley able to knock this one through. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. I guess the good news as they start this drive is that they still do have the lead, Charles. If their defense hadn't been able to hold them to a field goal on the other side, they'd be down. But now it's about preserving that very small lead.
It is preserving and maybe stretching it out a little bit. Because if you're a starter on that side of the ball, I certainly hope you didn't loosen up your shoulder pads or start to cut the tape off. Because if you did it way too soon. They've got to go back out there with renewed vigor, for lack of a better term, and also a good plan. They need points, and they need them now.
It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 5. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. Oh, and I think he went backward. He did. The fullback dive held up short. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. On 1st down, time. Throwing left side here, and it's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. 12 yards that time, but a Pittsburgh 1st. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Looking to throw. Todd. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Shaq Lawson. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you get 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job.
Oh, no, he lost the football. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. So a chance there goes by the wayside. That one just didn't have enough leg to get there.
Yeah, and it would have given them a lead here in the 4th quarter. And those are the ones that keep you up at night when you don't have enough distance. I wonder if maybe did his foot hit the ground first? Did he not get enough of the ball? He's going to be thinking about that one.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run. This is Kamara. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Just like that.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And a good gain here of 9 from the 19 down to the 10. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another yard would probably put this thing in the books. It's 2nd and 1. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And here he'll get it down to the 7.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
On second down, Kamara. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well.
Oh, no, he lost the football. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
Ready, break.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And that is going to seal this victory as time runs out. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for the Ravens, the win form is number 6 on the year. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll get a